Hello and welcome as it is the first day of October 2019. This is BNB on the 1 hour term time frame, which has been in this sideways mode. However, if it breaks down below this level of support, well, what I'm doing is I'm putting an alert right around here. And this will tell me that it's starting to break down. I have an okay amount of them, nothing too large, but if it goes down, I'll just sell a good amount for that of tether. Something I don't enjoy doing, but if it does break down below the support, I gotta think it's probably gonna at least come down to a bit further. But as it's playing out on the daily chart, breaking down below in here, it just looks like it could even be a decent sized leg lower. Thereafter that, we'll see how it goes. As far as Bitcoin's concerned, well, same thing if it breaks down below here. And as I've been stating, on failed move, fast move, it could still be, or excuse me, move to the Fibonacci. I don't got it shown here, but the 6300 fib or the failed breakdown. I mean, it could still be the failed breakdown, but it's looking less likely each moment, each day within this market. And when as a trader, some of the things again that sucks to do is, well, again, selling Bitcoin. And take a look at this on the single hour. It was 5:08 p.m. Eastern time on September the 23rd. Yeah, September the 23rd, when I thought this was breaking down. So right in here. And for a while, I've been waiting for situations to do what traders are supposed to do, but I would have to assume anyway, and that's turn cryptos out of the crypto space, we'll say. And I never did see any type of great breakout patterns. I don't remember what I did in the early parts of August in here. I can't remember. Wouldn't have been much, if anything, at all. I don't think, but I've been waiting and waiting. And then when I seen this pattern in here, I seen how it was leaving down below. Well, you can see the support that it hit here at 10 o'clock that day, how it was declining. And I wasn't liking it, but that's just what the market does. You just have to react to how you see it. And to me, it looked like this thing could have had a decent decline, and unfortunately, it did. But it does mean that I can pay a few bills based on Bitcoin prices at 9,700. And when looking at this, as far as the gold and silver is concerned, the crypto space entering atmosphere for me happened late February, back when Bitcoin was about 1,200, and I made my last buy on Bitcoin via fiat currency at this bottom. As far as turning into silver, it would have been May, because it was my niece's birthday. But it was more of a test run anyway, as they gave free shipping on a few coins, and one of them was like, "Oh my goodness, she would love that." You're paying like $15, $16, $17 over a spot, and I'm thinking, well, you know what? The free shipping, I guess I might as well now. So I just tested it out there. But I really did, and I mean, bought a bit maybe in here, but the majority of it started in here, and it was fun in here. And then because of this pattern in here, so many times in these situations, I'm like, oh my goodness, it's probably going to go down. So during really this entire run in here, it was turning. I think I try to remember the last time it was. I would have been like maybe in here. This little last breakdown was the last time I turned silver cryptos into cryptos, and I didn't do so again until it started going back up again. And the last time I did it was really at this top, at the $14,000 level, because that was a key Fibonacci level. So as we can, I guess, put the fib here, it was pretty much right around the 1293 number. Once it came up on the last day I would have bought would have been like June 26th. And there's really no reason for me to buy again until I can, we'll see price action most likely on this significantly higher. Most likely because, well, that depends on what other coins do along the way. And for me, every day is another day. It's another day, another 12,056 Satoshi. And I got the cross here between Tezos and the Go chain. Back in September of 2018, the ratio was near 48. And everything here is a ratio. Bitcoin against the dollar is a ratio. Silver against the dollar is a ratio. Silver against gold is a ratio. It firmly was down to 16 and change, but even was firmly at 14 and a half. It's easy to get that number during those 2, 3, 4 days it would have been at. So a low of 14, and then a most recent high of 133. Now, most likely, it's just going to keep rolling higher on this. What I'm hoping for, and what makes sense, is that you have a significant point A low, a key B high. Whether this is where the high is, I don't know. We just said, oh, maybe this is the high. And for a while, it looked like it might have been. And in some levels, in some time frames, it was. But I'm talking about a situation in which you have a key point here. And basically, it means it has a very good move on the opposite direction. And then maybe, like again, if it were to come down something like this, well, that would be point C low. But you never know. Maybe this thing just breaks it, and the high is at 283 or 1,000, or 2,000 or 5,000. All those are big possibilities. But these are two coins that I'm really interested in. I've added extra holdings on both of them. Well, in fact, I just got into Teslas because, well, they're now available on Binance. I got hit BTC here, but I wouldn't buy and sell on there, and I haven't since either late 2017, early 2018. And but it gives me all the data from that point because they've been around for a decent amount of time. Now, this is a bearish setup. I mean, I'm very bullish on Go. As we have this low in here, come up to this high, and then come down to this low again, back up to this high, back down to this low again. So we got the 3x hit in here. This high was lower than these, and now we're having excitation of this 18 average as we head near towards this level. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if it's moving down towards here. Let's take a look at Go Chain. No, actually, let's take a look at a few other Go Chain ratios. First, Ripple and Go. I mean, this is really interesting here, this pattern. But this up and down choppy action is just what I'm looking for. When you figure this is at 18 and 3/4 and this is at 15, that's like over 20%. I mean, that's actually not that good overall, but these things can get pretty wild. We can see that the ultimate low of this is at about 6. Resistance securely at 28. But at the same point, it wouldn't surprise me if a decent move coming down below here stands just based on everything that I see in here. Bitcoin Cash, clear bearish signal happening. And well, it will be today's session because this is October 1st. This technically says October 2nd. Via that, it's 9 p.m. on the first day of October as I'm doing this video. That's Cincinnati, Ohio time. I've never been. LITECOIN against Go. Hey, we're at this level of key support here from late August. And I mean, it's had a beautiful run up from these November lows of 650 all the way up to 8,600. I wouldn't be surprised if this can at least come down to like 2,000, maybe even come down to 1,500 as a possibility. Again, key highs and lows. So you have a key point A low, and what right now might be the key B high. If price action comes down here, it most certainly is because highs and lows are known after the fact. But again, this looks like a bearish signal as well, and this is all bullish for Go. Here we have Theta against Go Chain. This level of support of 9.25 was breached. This level of 8 and low change is breached. Now we're at 7.5. Down in here, the ratio is pretty close to par. And then it goes up to firmly at 12. And, well, that's 12 times volatility move there. Here we have a great failed breakout pattern on Sky versus Go. These are the ratios that I'm trading Go with. But after this long decline, and this meant up here, and primarily I was all selling Sky to buy gold. And it's always nice when you have these moves to have situations like this, where you can at least get some buybacks on the way. Because it means if you're selling here, you buy back here, you sell in here. Maybe 2 buys and 2 sells, however. And 82 to, yeah, definitely, maybe 2 or 3 sells even for me. And then in here, if you can chop around any of this back and forth, I was, and I tend to usually do. And then now it's been primarily selling Gold Chain for Sky. So this was a nice little rally break to be able to do the opposite. And well, obviously I'll be doing the same if it keeps going lower. Just play whatever the ratio tells me to play. And when we look at Go against Bitcoin, the one it's mainly traded on. When you have all of these line moves like this, that tells you there's a lot of good volatility. But what's interesting is just that, all the line moves that they've had. There was none of that today. This rally sold off in the day, as did all of these. Even this little one in here. I mean, you got a decent green candle here and a decent one here. A cumulative amount overall, but this pattern looks very, very nice. I love how this excitation from the 18 average is set, and it's doing so amongst this resistance in which it has entangled with for quite some time. So if anything's ready for an explosive breakout pattern, this is it. But now that I'm going over the follow the money, which is just so easy to do, it makes even more sense. And this is explorer.gochain.io/rich list, all one word on rich list. The number one owner's got 34% over 1/3, and the number two owners we can see goes from 4443. So in this, we'll call it, I don't know if you want to call it lake or whatever. I know there's no whales in lakes, but this is the only one on the list that would be such. Now these are superior fish, ranks 2, and then each one, the fish superiority declines, of course. But the only one who can really move these markets in a major level right now is this one. And when you click on the address, they give you the list of all the transactions. Only 55, which is, I mean, if I was in this, there'd be no way that number would be like that. If I was to just do one account, you would be probably seeing like on average 4 to 5 transactions per day back and forth. But in reality, I'd probably use about 20, 50, 60 different wallets just to. But this is definitely what's that word I'm looking for? It's when it's like truth and show like not hiding the truth. There's a word for it. I can't remember. It happens to me a lot with whatever words I know well of. Anyway, 2 days ago, these are all plus added to the accounts. And when we look at the dates on here, we can see that this person, group of people, team, however you want to put it, on average close to every week, every 5 to 9 days or so, they are adding funds. And that's all that they have been doing since this large decline of 89 million. Oh, make it easy on you. This happened on May the 29th in the morning of that day. So the start of the 29th day. May 29th was back in here at 272. Market goes up for a bit, and then a decent decline. I wonder who the big sellers were in that spot. I would presume at first the player was trying to put in as many sell orders as like they could at this price, and then just got the best that they could with this level, and then just kept on going down. And well, then at that point, the buys would start coming in. So if they've been just buying over and over and over again, and just every week, they probably buy like several times a day. A lot of their orders, of course, whenever I gotta say, I've made a trade with that player several times before, because that player trades a lot on the market. I would think both buying and selling back and forth, and I would hope and think that they're doing intraday buy low, sell high strategies in the mode of accumulation mode right now, which means you're looking to buy a lot more than you sell per day. So for every 100 that you buy, you might sell 30 or 40 or 50 or 60 or whatever. Meaning, maybe I'll sell some, so intraday today, Maybe they were all hidden here. They should have been buying big on this moment here. This happened really fast. This was really interesting. This was catching me like, oh shit. Yeah, I was like, come on, don't do this to me. And it didn't, so that's fine. But I seen this happen, and I all the time I was trying to get sell orders filled at these numbers. I can't remember what number it was, like 126, 127. I didn't get my sell order filled until, of course, up here. But it was. I gotta presume that that person was the one who got the majority of the buying there, having buy orders ready to go. Now, the only way that the markets, I think, go up big like that is they have to buy it up themselves. If they're going to, if these prices go up to like, you have these 80, 100, 200, 400% moves kind of deal. But it wouldn't cost as much because a lot of the sell orders would be theirs, and some of them anyway. And if you're buying it up, you just remove your sell orders. So, say right now, it's say you have sell orders in at say 130 and up, whatever, 135. And now you're like, okay, let's buy it up. Let's remove all our sell orders up to say 142. Let's buy it up to 137. And I wouldn't be surprised if stuff like that goes on. And then the strategies that they have, I'm just looking at them thinking, man, it wouldn't be that difficult to do. And it makes sense. That's what has been going on with a lot of these coins. Now, I'll be looking at, every single day, I'm going to be looking at that list and seeing the transactions that are being pulled through. And when I see a situation of a lot of coins being withdrawn from there, well, that tells me that they're going to, especially if it's like it was before, like 80, 90 million or whatever, 100, anything of a massive a number like that. And I'm going to be presuming that the sell off is going to come again. And, well, if I notice that, well, I'll know within, if I check every 24 hours or so, I'll know. I'll probably check once a day. And also, there's no way I think there could be any decent large sell offs unless, of course, that person happens to withdraw money from there because they only probably have so many on Binance that they can sell with, especially after they withdrew from Binance a couple days ago. Which makes me wonder too. The Go chain is traded on Bittrex as well and probably other exchanges. Let me take a look. Why is that only coming? I mean, that's got to be from Binance. It can't be from anywhere else. Where would they withdraw Bittrex funds? Do they have a different wallet for Bittrex withdrawals and stuff like that? If that'd be the case, I can. Uh, Let me just take a look at the numbers on the Go volatility or the Go volume on Bittrex. That's a big one right there. And we'll see what comes up. That's not bad. 4.4. I mean, it's definitely not big, but I don't know how well the arbitrage. I haven't looked much at the arbitrage on there, but if I were to just click on this, and the star means apparently that Americans can't bet on it. I think that's got to do with the SEC and stuff like that. Right now, the bid-ask ratio is 128, 129. And the bid-ask ratio here is either 130, 129, or 129, 128. But last minute, the price on Binance, on Go Chain did come up to, now it's definitely, so here it went to 128. If you could, I mean, the easiest way of arbitraging is situations like when these things are in the moment rallying, then maybe you can get it. Like, let's just see if I could come up with an example. I'm only going to take a look at this quick. Where would be the best? We'll just see. 553. This goes up to 120. So we're looking at 553. I'm having a hard time. Okay, 550. Oh man, I mean, this is just terrible volume when you look at it. Anyway, let's move on. Now I'm going to talk about Hedera Hashgraph, which has been kind of not busy for me lately, but always a busy to start. And it's not like it's been that long since my last trade. It's just been a couple of days or so now. lately it's been in this extremely tight 1 minute from all day. It's been in a range of 484 to 453, but that's relatively bullish because given how this thing, and it's just new as we can see, this thing just came out on Bittrex on September 17th. The ticker symbol is H bar, and I'm ratio trading this with RavenCoin. But it had this rally, and it's been holding in here. I mean, it's one of those spots where I wouldn't want to try to predict right now. Oh, are we going to have a significant breakout to about 500 or higher? Or are we going to go to like the 420, whatever? I don't know. I just know that if it breaks support or resistance, it's going to go to at least those numbers. And relatively convincingly and fast as well. But this rally here that came up to this high from this low did make a higher low, matching high, and now it's just been in the middle of the low and the high. So whatever happens in here, well, I guess next key level, previous key highs and lows. And it's interesting how somebody commented on my channel in an interesting way about this coin. And a lot of times when I look at this, I mean, I'm not going to put too much into it. But it was a little over a year ago when I was watching Hidden Secrets of Money, the cryptocurrency edition from Mike Maloney. And the second half of it talked about the hashgraph technology. And I'm like, you know what, one day I'm going to have to get into it when I have a chance to. And I'm like, well, I don't know how I would buy it then. And I never even ever seen it until that point. I'm like, well, if that's the case, and this thing was at like 390 or so when I got in, it would have been like probably like September 22nd or so, right around here, that I would have bought it. And then since then, it's been moving. Nothing too fantastic, but fantastic enough. Looking at RavenCoin, this is a downtrend. Not by much. We still got higher low to this. We might not remain it. It might not stay that way. Still got to get above this trend line to do the stuff. But this is the 1 hour time frame. It's having its moves. Had this low. Key thing when you make this high and you make this low is to not be a failure. It's already came back to where it came from here. If it does manage to come down here, to me around here is the absolute must hold for like really like again the point C low situation. Because if not, then you're looking at probably well below 300. And if that happens, you know what? That happens. On the daily chart, I see nice volatility. So it's volatility. And the fact that on Bittrex, it's just, there's a lot of, when you really want to buy and sell a coin, there's so many of those coins that suck. But this one isn't one of them. It's really easy just to take the market price to buy and sell because you're realistically looking at it. The bid ask price is either 357 or 359 with the 58, meaning one number differential. And if it's not, then I can just take the number and probably get it, meaning if say the ask price is 358, the bid price was 356. If I'm looking to buy or sell, I'll just throw the 357 in. And there's a good chance that somebody will scoop that up relatively quick. I mean, I know it is, but sometimes some trades on Bittrex can last could go like long period of time, like 10, 20, 30 minutes without a trade. If not in some markets, could go hours without a trade. That's a lot of those are the coins that could on any given day could be like, oh, we're delisting them, and that's just part of the big risk with a lot of them. And I pretty much stay away from all of them as well. The list of coins that I'm trading is right now. That's the list. And so yeah, I like its moves. Now, if we look at the ratio, let me just go to ratio and let's find the Raven coin and the H bar. So H bar I think is the first header. It's not much to this because again, this just started out. So it goes down, it's went up, and it's went down. So all of this in here has been just wonderful. When we take a look at this on the single hour term, yeah, my last trade would have been on September 29th. So that's how long it's been. It's been, what time of day was that? It's been 2 days. It's been 2 days. But I mean, that just happened. I mean, I traded at 1300 hours on the 29th, and then I traded on 20 hours. And then the differential of the move is fantastic. 109 to like 133. It's like, yeah, baby. And that, literally it is. It's like, man, I can take advantage of higher volatile moves because that's basically what I do. Is play its volatility. If the volatility sucks, then my volatility playing it's going to suck. And if it's amazing, well then, well, mine's going to be amazing. Now, as far as the setup is concerned, interesting pattern in here. As this high comes in with this low, and I like how it's holding and playing within it. And there's just so many people that are looking at this ratio ever since it came out because, well, why wouldn't you? And there's a lot of good reasons why you wouldn't, and not too many why you would. So I'm looking at it. Well, you're looking at it now. Maybe one or you two, or maybe one or two have already been trading this with me as well, or just I'm just going to copy this with you as well. I don't know, but there's this is just a fun way to play the game because the main thinking of this was is man, I really wish I could be playing the volatility that I not only remember seeing in my first few days in 2017, which I think is going to come back, at least a good fraction of its volatility. But the ones that I was researching when I was doing the black screen buy low, sell high stuff, and I was just looking at all the data from like 2015 and 16, I'm like, oh my goodness, if I could get in on that type of stuff, that would be just so spectacular. And the way I looked at this is, you know what, this is one of the more probable type of ways of getting it. And I want to get into the hash graph, so when I got in this, it was like, okay, find the coin. I looked at like a whole bunch of different ones. Finally, it was Raven coin that I finally decided upon. Thank you for tuning in. Have yourself a great day. Bye bye.